What is good, people? I hope you're doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know to lose 10 to 20 kilos of fat in the next 90 days while still working a full-time job, while still not sacrificing your social life and still enjoying all the foods you love as well. So I'm going to go through everything when it comes to the scheduling, the planning that helped me create this transformation while still working a full-time job as well. Still going out with your friends, going out with family, still doing all of that, but in the end, still losing 12 kilos of fat in 3 months to 12 weeks. So I'm going to get straight into it, guys. So I hope you can take some knowledge out of this that you can put towards your fat loss journey while still working a full-time job. So I'll get straight into it. So I created this transformation from January to April. Now, this is one of the busiest times of my actual life as well. It's actually fucked. So I'll go straight into it. But I created this transformation from this time. So we lost about 12 kilos of fat in this period. But I was a full-time trainer, so I was doing about 31-hour sessions a week in the gym. I was mainly doing split shifts. I was doing like 5 to 11 a.m. in the morning in the gym. I was come back home. I would chill, but I also needed to gym as well. And then I'll also go back to the gym for 4 to 8 to do more gym sessions. I had 10 online clients as well. I was trying to pursue my online business as well when it comes to my coaching. So I was still trying to put out like 1 to 2 pieces of content per day. Trying to put out reels, trying to put out stories, trying to get more clients. So this was a really hectic few months as well when it comes to my business and coaching and everything, but I still managed to create this transformation. So we still dialed the training and the nutrition, but I'm going to go through exactly how I actually did that and my overall knowledge of the fat loss and how you can actually create a transformation like this while still working a full-time job like I did go into it. So the biggest consequences that I had before this was really I was just skipping gym sessions. Without a plan and a structure, you're going to skip gym sessions. You're going to go out and buy food because realistically it's more convenient. You don't have anything at home prepped or anything like that. Now, I never did any meal prep because I thought I didn't have any time, but it wasn't that I didn't have time. Like most people say they have no time for meal prep, but it's just because they don't plan when they're going to do their meal preps. Brother, meal prepping takes about 20 to 30 minutes. You can cook up a big batch of chicken, a big batch of beef, and it takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Like, are you telling me you don't have 20 to 30 minutes a week to cook some chicken and some beef? Like realistically, it's not the time, it's just the planning behind getting your training, your nutrition, your steps, all these different factors in order to create a fat loss transformation like I did have. And I just kept spiraling, so I was in the same cycle. Like I would lose a few kilos, but then I'll just gain this fat back as well because I would have a hectic week. It would be good, but then the next week it was just so unsustainable. So yeah, that is the main thing. But what was the main turning point? So I got to a point where I was just fed up and I just really came up with a system and a plan that's really worked as well, and it's working for my fat loss clients as well at the moment who are working full time. But we were 10 to 12 kilos of fat down in 90 days. I still managed to hit the gym 4 to 5 times a week, track my macros, and then also 8 to 10,000 steps a day. So these are the main things that I did to create a fat loss transformation like this. And it was really coming down to the planning and the scheduling around my busy schedule. But I'll get straight into all of that and how I actually created that as well. But yeah, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down the exact system that I now use to help obviously busy guys, professionals, tradies who are obviously wanting to lose fat, obviously feel more confident within their physique, but also without sacrificing their career, their social life, and still enjoy all the food. Like realistically, you're losing fat, we're enjoying life, we're going out with friends, we're going out with family, we're feeling more confident, and we're enjoying what we're eating, brother. So that's what we're going to get straight into. I'm going to go through fundamentals of fat loss, efficient training, how to train when you're in a fat loss phase, nutrition habits, planning around a busy schedule, and then my personal cheat codes and hacks for fat loss, which really helped me create this transformation. The cheat codes, the hacks, those are the big things. So I'll get straight into it. So when it comes to fat loss, the fundamentals. So we've obviously got the calorie deficit, we've got move more, and we've also got strength training. So the most important thing is that calorie deficit. If you are not in a calorie deficit, you simply are not going to be losing fat. So you need to be in a calorie deficit or you're not going to lose fat. And we'll go through how to exactly calculate your calorie deficit and how many calories you should be having, what macros for you personal as well. And I'll go through what my macros were that created this transformation here as well. Moving more as well. When it comes to fat loss, it's that simple. You either eat less and move more. So it's either that. If you're wanting to do less steps, you're going to have to eat less. But if you want to have free reign, and for me personally, I wanted to eat a lot more. So I'm always moving more, always pushing past 10,000 steps. because per 1,000 steps you usually roughly burn about 40 to 50 calories. So this is what I usually do. So I have a walking pad at home and I would do a lot of work at home, a lot of online work. So even if you're studying or even if you're literally just doom scrolling, just walk around, get more steps in. That is what's really helped me with the fat loss and getting more steps in, getting under that calorie deficit. The biggest thing is the strength training, because when it comes to the fat loss phase, we want to try and retain all this muscle that we already have while still losing all of that fat underneath. So we still want to be lifting weights to retain the muscle and obviously getting stronger in the gym, still training hard, keeping the tempo, the form, everything as well. So training shouldn't change too much. Like when you're in a fat loss phase, your training should pretty much stay the exact same. You don't want to be lifting lighter weights because your energy is lower and you're obviously losing weight. You don't want that. That is the way on how to actually lose muscle. That is when you're going to lose muscle because you're being like a little bitch. So don't be a little bitch and like lose strength in the gym. That's not what you want. So if you want to keep all your muscle, you want to make sure you're still training really hard. But training while you're trying to lose fat, intensity should stay the same. Progressive overload, you still need to be getting stronger, and picking a sustainable gym routine that you can stick to long term as well. That is going to be really effective. So most of my clients and myself, like I was doing 4 to 5 days, but realistically, if you can only commit 2 to 3 days, that's fine. So there's some clients that can only go 2 to 3 days because they have like 60 to 70 hour weeks. And that is completely fine. It's whatever works for you. Like there is no set days like, oh, what's the best way to lose fat when it goes to training? There is no set time you have to go to the gym. Like realistically, 3 to 4 days, 3 days, 45 minutes, that is really all you need to be getting it done. You just need to be doing the right things in the gym. Pick a routine you can stick to. And when it comes to cardio, in my opinion, cardio just wasn't for me. And cardio definitely helps with losing fat and burning fat. You burn calories, obviously, which is helping the fat loss. But when it comes to cardio, this is a big factor. It's going to happen. So when you're doing your when you're doing your really intense cardio, your Stairmaster, your any type of sport, anything like that, or your what's it called, elliptical, like the moving one. This is when hunger is going to drive up. So let's say you burn 300, 400 calories on the cardio as well, which took you an hour. That is going to be very good for fat loss, but it's also going to spike your hunger up so much as well. So when you're having your meal, you're going to be so much hungry after. And most people, that is when snacking happens. That is when a binge happens. So really for me, steady state cardio, 8 to 10,000 steps per day is all it really did. And that is all the cardio I did to create this transformation. So if you like doing cardio, that's fine. If you feel like it's helping you with your fat loss, that's fine. But what's worked for me has just been doing steady state cardio, 8 to 10,000 steps. But simple nutrition. So what's really helped me with my nutrition would definitely be, so some really simple nutrition for fat loss as well is eating healthy does not equal losing fat. This is a big myth in the fitness industry, is like, if I eat healthy, I'm going to lose fat. And that could not be further from the truth. Like that is not going to happen. It doesn't matter how healthy you are eating. Most of these healthy foods like avocados, like mixed nuts, yes, they're healthy fats and it's good, but healthy fats isn't what's going to help you lose fat. It's calories in and calories out. Most of these healthy foods have got like 400 to 500 calories and they're not going to fill you up as well. So they're not going to be good for overall losing fat as well. Calorie deficit is the most important part when you're trying to lose fat. High volume eating, lots of food for low calories. So what I like to do is high volume. So it pretty much means having a big plate of food or a big bowl of food, but it's not many calories. So just making sure we're going into the higher volume foods, which I'm going to go through a bit after as well, what foods I used to eat to create my transformation. So stay tuned with that. But if you don't know how many calories you should be eating, you want to go into a calorie calculator, put in your height, your weight, your goals, your activity levels, and obviously how much fat you're wanting to lose. So if you weigh a bit more as well and you're wanting to lose a lot more, then you got to put that in as well, because that'll be super important. But what I did personally for me, so I was wanting to lose about 10 to 12 kilos of fat in 3 months. So I lost 12 kilos in 3 months, which is 12 weeks. So 12 kilos in 12 weeks, I was losing about 1 kilo fat per week. So what I was aiming for, so me personally, I was aiming to lose 1 kilo fat per week. So I was eating in a 1,000 calorie deficit every day, which was 2,000 calories. So how I actually worked that out is my maintenance calories was about 3,000. So take away the 1,000 calorie deficit that I've said just before, leaves me with 2,000 calories daily to lose 1 kilo of fat per week. My macro split was about 2,000 calories, 180 protein, 250 carbs, and obviously 50 grams of fats. Now, the biggest thing will be the calories, and then also we want to be making sure we're getting double the protein. So you want to be make sure you're getting double your protein. So if you weigh 70 kilos, 140 protein. You weigh 90 kilos, 180 protein. So making sure you're getting double, just because the biggest thing on how we're going to retain as much muscle will be your training, but then it will also be getting enough protein in so we can retain all that muscle. But yeah, I'll get more into that in more depth a bit later on. A big thing that's going to help will be planning around a busy schedule. So I would suggest planning your food before the week even starts. So on the weekend, you should plan out what meals you're going to have, what meal preps you're going to have, when you're going to have for breakfast, lunch, dinner. So just making sure you're getting ready, because the last thing you want to do is have a hectic day at work and then come back home, you've got nothing in the fridge, because then what's probably going to happen is you're going to have what your parents having. You're probably going to go and buy food out. You'll be like, or you'll probably be driving on the way home. You're like, oh fuck, I haven't got any food. I'm just gonna go to Macca's and get a drive-through. Like realistically, that's the only reason why it would happen as well. So having meal prep 2 to 3 core meals, your lunch and your dinner, that will save you money. It's also gonna give you more energy throughout the day because you're actually getting quality food in as well. And also having backup meals ready, like a protein yogurt, maybe microwavable rice, some tuna, bit of protein shakes as a backup as well. If you run out of the beef mince, the chicken, the steak, the eggs, all the essential protein as well. You want to prioritize protein as much as you can, because when it comes to hunger, we want to make sure we're getting enough protein in, because when it comes to protein and being satiated, which means being fuller for longer, protein is going to be your best friend. So protein is the highest satiating macronutrient, which means it's going to keep you fuller for longer. And that's what we want in the fat loss phase. The only reason why people snack and binge is because they don't get enough protein in, and then their hunger is just spiked up as well, because they don't get enough protein, they're not satiated, hunger drives up, binge, snacking, that's what happens. So protein at every meal. So start with your protein, then build around it with your carbs and also your fat sources. So that is the main thing. And also schedule your training like it's an appointment. Like you guys schedule in when you're going to work. I'm going to work 3 to 7 o'clock, but you don't schedule in when you're going to go to the gym. Am I going to go to the gym before work? Am I going to go after work? What day specifically? And I would set like a minimum session. So what I did was I was like, oh, I want to go to the gym at least 4 days, and then I want to go 5 days if I have a bit of extra time, if I can fit in that 5th day. So always have a minimum day, but then also have like how many sessions maximum we're gonna try and fit in, because a consistent 3 sessions a week every single week for 6 months is going to be a lot better than 5 sessions a week for 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks you don't even go at all. So it's always doing a little bit less on your fitness journey that's going to be more beneficial than doing more only in the short term, compared to doing less, but long term, it's all about consistency. When it comes to fat loss is a marathon. It is not a sprint. So most people fail their fat loss because they lose 5 kilos, but then they just gain that 5 kilos back, or they hit a plateau and they just gain it back as well. When it comes to fat loss, it is long term that we really want to focus on, which is why I'm so big on finding a good routine when it comes to your training, your nutrition, while still having a social life long term as well. Increase your daily movement. Most fat loss comes from obviously creating a calorie deficit. Walking is going to be the easiest way to burn more calories without driving that hunger up, which is what I talked about before. So I would aim for about 8 to 10,000 steps. Now, the last thing you want to do is, let's say you're averaging only about 3,000 to 4,000 steps at the moment. Don't tell yourself you're going to do 8 to 10,000 from next week. Start small and build momentum. So if you're averaging 4,000 steps per day, start with, I'm going to do 5,000 steps. I'm going to do 5.5, then move up to 6,000. So small steps. This is what I always tell my clients, small wins. So building up your momentum and then getting up to that 8 to 10,000 long term eventually. You don't want to tell yourself you're going to do 8 to 10,000. And like I said, it might last a week and then the next week you're back down to 3,000. So set small wins, build momentum. That is how we're going to keep the fat loss. My cheat codes and my hacks for my fat loss journey, which created that transformation, which I went through. High volume foods, potatoes, veggies, pumpkin, sweet potato, Greek yogurt, lean protein sources, extra lean beef mince, chicken breasts. That is what really helped me to stay satiating, to keep me fuller for longer. Delaying my first meal, so I usually push my first meal back. So I was working the 5 to 11 a.m. shift, so I wouldn't have my first meal until about 12 o'clock. So I would usually have a bit of caffeine in the morning, maybe a black coffee or an energy drink to keep me going, but I wouldn't have my first meal until about midday, and it was mainly a protein source, a little bit of carbs, maybe a little bit of fats as well. So The biggest thing as well is delaying that first meal, which is really important as well, because then later on in the day, I would always get back from work and I would be starving as well. So I would have a lot more calories to work with. Whereas if I had breakfast, then I wouldn't be able to have as big of a lunch and a dinner as well. So also it comes down to calorie banking. So eating fewer calories later on the day. Maybe you have a smaller breakfast so that way you can have a bigger dinner as well. But it really depends on you guys. Like if you guys are watching this as well and you say, oh, I'm going to copy exactly what Sam did, like his transformation is really good, I want to do that. That's not going to work, because what might work for me or my fat loss might not work for you. So it's just really finding what works for you when it comes to your training, when it comes to your nutrition, your macros, your steps, because I work a different job to you. Like my social life is completely different to you. So that's why it is so important to find a good routine that works for you and sticking to it long term. So finding what works, finding what doesn't work, and then sticking to it long term. So I would use my fewer calories in the day, like early on, so I wouldn't have anything in the morning, and then I would have a bigger dinner. Also calorie banking as well. I'll talk to you about this. So let's say a lot of people come to me and they're like, Sam, fuck, I want to still lose fat, but I still want to like have a nice meal out with my friends and family. Brother, that is possible. You can still do that, but what we're going to need to do is something called calorie banking. So let's say, I'll give you an example. We're going to go out on Friday night and we're going to have a steak and chips or something like that. We're going to go out to a nice dinner with our family. What we are wanting to do to still stay in the calorie deficit is the day before and the day after, we're going to take away about 300 to 400 calories for that day. So I was eating about 2,000 calories. So for the Thursday and for the Saturday, we're going to have 1,700 instead of the 2,000. That way, we've got 600 extra calories we can work with on that Friday. So that is what calorie banking is. And it's definitely, if you have stuff planned, that is what we need to be using, calorie banking or getting more steps in. And what I would suggest, if you do have like a family meal on a Friday, earn that bloody cheat meal as well. You can still lose fat. Don't feel guilty as well. So get your steps in, get your training in, and then enjoy that meal. Life is all about still enjoying the nice meals, but still getting back to it as well. So after you have that cheat meal, the next day, don't go and binge out. Don't go and binge out. That is what most people do. The dopamine just gets cooked. They enjoy that meal so much, the next day they're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have another one. Get straight back to work. So get back to your nutrition, get back to your training, get your steps in, just treat it like it didn't even happen. And that is why most people with their fat loss, and that is why I was so consistent, because I'll just get straight back to it the next day. Hydration, make sure you're getting your hydration in as well. I usually take electrolytes in the morning and during my session, but as long as you're drinking enough water, 3 to 4 liters per day, because most people, they're not actually hungry. Their body's just telling them they're hungry because they're dehydrated. So make sure you're staying hydrated throughout the day. That is really key for fat loss as well. Weighing yourself daily and getting a weekly average. This is so important, because most people, when they're trying to lose fat, is they weigh themselves once a week. Brother, that is not accurate. So what I would suggest is weighing yourself every day, and your weight's going to fluctuate up and down. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be up and down. But you want to get a weekly average of where we are, and it should be about, depending on how much fat you're trying to lose, 0.5 to 1 kilo. That is what I would suggest to lose per week. Now, if you're not losing weight, you simply are not in a calorie deficit. So if your weight has stalled for that week, you either need to eat less food, so you need to be in a steeper calorie deficit, or you need to do more movement. So that is what you need to be doing. But yeah, when it comes to where you're at right now, realistically, bro, you don't need more time to lose fat. You just need a real system that works for your lifestyle. Because like I was saying, what might work for me and what created my transformation most certainly won't work for you as well, because we live different lives as well. And that is why I love coaching, because everyone is different. Everyone has different goals. Everyone has different preferences with nutrition. Like what I do in the gym might not work for you. I want to find a good routine that you can stick to, because that is what's going to be sustainable long term as well. So Adam's lost 12 kilos in 3 months as well. He was still eating out. We just really dialed in the tracking and everything. So Chris here, he was one of my first clients. He lost about 5 kilos in the first month. And bro, Chris was still eating out with his friends. He was still enjoying food, and it was crazy. I remember we first chatted after the month, and he was like, Sam, I can't believe I can still go out and eat once or twice a week and still lose fat. And look at this transformation, 5 kilos down first month. So yeah, this shit does work as well. It's just really finding a good routine and a sustainable system and what actually works for you. So another client of mine's dropped to 115. He hasn't been 115 kilos in 3 years as well. So it's just fucking crazy what a good system can do for your life as well. But it's just building that out as well and actually having a plan. That is going to be where it's at as well. But yeah, if you've got to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. But if you're wanting me to help you build out a personalized plan that helps you lose fat while still working a busy job as well, like don't tell me you're working a busy job, you can't lose fat, brother. You can. It's just finding a good routine with your nutrition and your training around that schedule. Like you can't change, you've got 50 to 60 hours a week at work, but you can change your nutrition and training to make it work for you without not having to sacrifice your social life or also being able to eat the foods you love. You can book a free one-to-one call down below. It'll literally be super chill chat between us. We'll literally just go through where you're at, what your goals are. You'll gain some clarity about why you're not seeing the results you're wanting to and the next step forward as well. So I hope to speak to you soon. Hopefully you've gained some knowledge out of this that you can take on your fitness journey. And hopefully you book a call and we'll speak soon, brother.